Hello and welcome back to the Esports Central Podcast. This is the first recorded episode in 2021. It's episode number 12. The reason that this is the first recorded one and not the first published one in 2021 is that the editor of Esports Central is the most useless person ever. Sargon, I'm talking to you. I hate you and everything you stand for. Sargon must fall. Get that trending, boys. Okay, I'm kidding. That was toxic. The people I have here with me today are very special guests. I say this for all my guests, and I can't say that for all my guests because I choose well. I got the #chess girls here with me, Jessie and Rebecca. Jessie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Better now that you guys are here. Rebecca, how about yourself?
Oh, great, thanks. Doing good.
How did you guys like my intro making fun of my boss?
No, that was amazing. Way to break the ice.
Yeah, we hope it's usual banter that he's not unexpecting of it.
Yeah. So I do this every second episode, and we've been doing this on this podcast, like even before it was my podcast and it was other people's podcasts. We just make fun of him, like episode in, episode out, because we know he's that one fan that always tunes in and listens, and he must just hear himself get berated every week. You know, he does deserve it though. He does deserve it. I will just put it out there, but it's just a fun thing. You know, just a fun thing. So, yeah, I always talk about sports on this podcast as well. And guys, the sport we're talking about today, it's not tennis, it's not cricket, it's not football, it's not basketball, it's online chess. So both of you guys have pretty strong backgrounds in chess. I mean, I got good guests today. I'm super happy. So, Jessie, what is your background in chess? It's a very good one. Guys, be ready for it.
It's not that schmancy, but okay.
It is.
I started playing. I started playing when I was 7. My mom taught me how to play, and then I just started playing tournaments when I was 8, and never stopped. So I played at school. I played public tournaments, like age group tournaments where you're playing against boys and girls, and so on. And then I only got my SA colors for the first time when I was 17 years old, and yeah, been playing for the country since as well.
In your
And
Twitter
she's
bio,
the South African women's champion.
I was about to say being so humble.
Small.
Oh, yeah. So in 2017, I won the South African Women's Chess Championship, and then again in 2019. So
And you are a WIM, so that's
I'm a woman international. Thank you, Rebecca. I feel like you should just
here to remind you what she's done with her chess life.
I didn't want to, say too much, but that's basically, long story short, woman international master, which is one of the titles you can achieve in chess, and
which you got by winning.
Oh my goodness!
This is the last one, and then I'll sit back.
Oh no, it's okay. Okay, so in 2016. I played in the African Zonal Chess Championship. It was held in Mauritius, and by winning it, I got awarded my WIM title, Women International Master title. And it's just one title away from Woman Grandmaster, and that's the ultimate goal. Yeah.
So, you know, my CV's not that impressive. I just cured cancer, prevented World War III. You know that. We see you, Jessie. We see you. But all jokes aside, again, that's a super impressive CV. I mean, wow, just phenomenal achievements all around, and I'm sure you'll get that Women's Grandmaster. You know, we'll be cheering from you from the Esports Central side. Rebecca, your reputation in the chess world is pretty impressive in its own right as well. You want to dive into it a bit?
It's a lot less impressive. I possibly shouldn't have reminded Jessie about what she's done in order for me to compare. I also started playing a bit later. I also qualified for the South African team for the first time when I was, I think, 16 or 17. And then, I have represented South Africa at quite a few international events, both at junior level and at a senior level. I think the biggest achievement for me is probably representing the South African women's team at the World Chess Olympiad, which is kind of like the Olympics of chess that happens every 2 years. And it's a big team event for 4 players plus a reserve for each of the men and the women.
Wow, that's awesome. So I want to ask you another question.
And she's never had a coach, by the way. And I've had countless coaches. Self-taught, come on.
I haven't had a lot of coaching, but I have had some.
Wow, no coaching. Even Beth Harmon's had coaches, Rebecca. So that's really impressive.
Now the people who have coached me are going to feel terrible that we're just nodding. I've had about 20 hours of coaching. So there have been 2 people who have worked with, yes. But not.
Okay, and then I saw also, Rebecca, I don't know if I'm correct on this, but you're also a writer for chess.com, am I correct?
Yeah, so I'm a top blogger on their website,
Wow.
So I produce chess content just in terms of for writing about things I want to, and then it appears on their webpage.
Okay, so what kind of content do you create for them? Is it more like very chess related content in terms of strategy and that kind of stuff? Is it more about the overall maybe professional scene in chess? What kind of content do you create there?
So I've mainly focused on I haven't had a coach. I'm super lazy, so I struggle with studying chess and things like that. Been stuck at the same level. So I focus on like adult improvement on the chess games that I've done on my chess travels. Written some tips about streaming as well, applicable to chess streamers, but also more widely applicable to other streamers. I've heard that it's been helpful. So that's kind of the content that I've been focusing on with the writing.
All right, that's awesome. I actually even forgot to make that introduction there. The reason I found you guys was that I went to Twitch and I saw like #chess is a thing. Actually, somebody recommended you guys to me, but when I went to go watch, I was like, oh wow, we have these massive chess streamers here in South Africa. These people on Twitter and stuff, and I've never heard of them. I was so like so upset at myself. I was like, where have these people been this whole time? Like I was super impressed. I think Jess, I was watching you on stream. You had like 3,000 people watching you at some point. I was like, okay, these people are they pros, you know, in a way.
It just looks glorified, I think, because we're actually embedded on chess.com, something called Chess TV. Like
Right.
we're scheduled sometimes for like airing chess time on the chess site. So
yeah,
it's,
so it makes it look more impressive than it really is. But we've grown a really awesome community where we've made good progress in our first year of streaming, and we still do have.
Yeah, we have about
a fair number of
150 to 200 people in chat. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, and now I know you guys are not in the gaming scene, right? Because if you guys were, you would have been, regardless of all the, background information, y'all would have been bragging about it. Look at how big my stream is. I'm the best streamers. And I'm joking. The streamers in SA are real nice. It's the gamers that are the problem.
Oh, wow.
No, we've met some very nice South African streamers. It does seem to be a good community.
Yeah. No, they really are nice. I ran an event with them recently. It was a good time. So how did you guys get motivated to start Twitch streaming, if I may ask?
Rebecca bullied me into it.
Nice. Jessie does all the bullying in this relationship.
I think it was just a long time coming. Like we spoke about it for months and we never really dove into it. It was more like discussing phases where we'd see each other at chess tournaments or discuss obviously on the phone or something like that. And then I think it was August of 2019 where we actually got together and it was at a tournament and we spoke about it. We're like, we should do this. We should really just, buckle down and try this, because it's quite a leap into a scene you know nothing about. Like Twitch is obviously live streaming, and we were both so nervous at the time to start doing something like that. And so it was definitely out of our comfort zone, but it was exciting, and we knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to promote chess in South Africa, and I mean, it grew to the point where we started promoting chess all around the world. So now our audience, our community, I mean, they're from all over. So it's amazing. Yeah. I don't know if Rebecca wants to add to that.
I think Jessie covered it quite comprehensively.
All right. So how did you guys? So obviously, Twitch streaming together, of course, from the streamer and like gaming background, is you don't see too often when people stream together. So how did you guys decide you want to do that together? Like what? Actually, even before that, what is your guys' relationship together? Like how do you guys know each other other than chess tournaments? Like how did this happen in terms of you want to get together, stream together?
Yeah, so I think we knew each other from chess tournaments, and we traveled in 2018. We traveled quite a bit together. We both went to the African zonals in Mozambique. Then we went to the World Chess Olympiad that I mentioned earlier, and we traveled together before the tournament, just the two of us, to do a tournament as preparation. So we knew each other from that.
Okay.
And when we were looking at the streaming, I mean, the streaming is intimidating. It's a scary thing to do, and it's so much easier. In our minds, we thought, well, if we have 0 viewers, we have each other to talk to. We're not having to constantly come up with like topics of conversation. If it's a huge failure, we're failing together. We're not failing just by ourselves. I think we were quite maybe scared. I don't know if that's the word, but it's intimidating to start Twitch streaming. So we decided, to rather do it together, we thought it would be easier. And in the chess makes it a bit easier as well, in terms of, like, with the game, you can only really show one person's perspective. With chess, it can be both of us playing against each other. You're seeing one chessboard. You can have both of the cameras on the board. You can have matches. You can do commentary together. So it's a lot easier. There are more chess streamers who have more than one person streaming together, and it's worked out nicely for us, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
So you guys did start streaming quite recently. Jess, did you want to go in there, or did I just, I can just talk endlessly?
Oh, no, it's okay. It was January of last year. And actually, this Monday coming on the 25th is our streamiversary of like 1 year.
Streamiversary.
Yeah, it's really cool. And last year in January, it was basically like Rebecca was like, okay, so we have all the plans. We know what we're doing. We have an account. We have a name. I think the name is the thing that really had us scratching our heads. But then
nearly called like Lacquer Chess or like Chess.
Oh my God,
it was
crazy.
So many suggestions.
I'm very happy with what we decided on. It's very kosher.
#Chess has worked out very nicely for a name.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I just asked her, I was like, okay, so I think she asked me, when are we going live for the first time? Because all the talk and all the planning, and then we just decided one weekend, okay, let's do this, and then it happened.
I mean, we had a huge hype up towards the event, and it was a big thing. And we streamed together for our first probably like 10 or so streams. And then eventually we were brave enough to try it solo and do our first solo streams.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it's actually a really good idea getting into it together, because again, when you're doing it by yourself, there's no like, what Jesse was just bad that day, you have to take the L yourself. No, I'm kidding. But it is going in together is always much easier. Even on this podcast, I mean, it was like 5 of us when this thing started out. Now, just me and the guest, but it is one of those things. So Twitch. So maybe I'm kind of new to the chess scene. I'm one of those people that, I watched Queen's Gambit and I was like, okay, chess is pretty cool, but there's been chess happening the game is more than 1,000 years old now. So before we even get to the Twitch thing, did you guys notice a tangible difference in chess after Queen's Gambit got released?
I mean, the game is exactly the same. They haven't changed any of the rules or anything like that.
No, but I mean,
and things are exactly as it is in the series as well. Yeah,
I know. Sorry.
They patched the game. They nerfed the queen. She's too broken.
Yes. No. So there was definitely an uptake in viewership. 2020 was a horrible year for the world, but it was an amazing year for chess.
Right.
There was PogChamps run by chess.com, which had XQC taking part, big number of huge streamers, which really increased interest in the game. Everyone was turning to chess because of lockdown as well. And then also the Queen's Gambit. Then at the end of the year, when the PogChamps hype was kind of dying down, then boom, Queen's Gambit happened, and everyone wanted to learn how to play chess. So we definitely noticed that there's a lot more excitement. And now we have another PogChamps coming up. We're like, even Dwight Schrute from The Office, he's taking part. So it's things like that are really upping the status and the interest in chess.
That's
Block Champs happened with all the Minecrafters, like Tabo, Fundy, massive event that happened last week and drew 90,000 concurrent viewers.
Wow.
So it's exciting times for chess.
Made history.
Yeah.
Because I just saw from the statistics, because obviously I was the only guy who had the idea to start playing chess after watching Queen's Gambit, but there was stats. I think chess books started selling 600% more than they sold in the last 20 years. Player base has increased. It was crazy, and it just shows the power of media with a lot of these things. They just painted chess in a whole new light. It's a cool thing to do now, because Beth got the swagger and stuff, so it was really cool. But
they should make more series.
They should. So on the other side of it, from the Twitch side, so you guys have only been streaming for a year, right? But I feel obviously, like you say, 2020 is the year it kind of blew up. So it's more. You think it's more from all the PogChamps and stuff and Queen's Gambit, or before that? I don't know if you guys know. Was it already a growing community that just not too many people heard of on Twitch's side?
I think we joined at the right time, because we saw this amazing boom. It wasn't like we joined as soon as the boom hit. We started in Jan, and when COVID became a thing, a lot of chess players decided to stream. So that was about April or March, April. So that was
Yeah.
like 2 months, and we had already like kicked in, and we were ready to start streaming on our own and stuff like that. So and then when PogChamp started, I think that's where we saw like our first like boost in viewers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more publicity for chess. I think if 2020 hadn't happened,
Right.
just when I was saying 2020, absolutely everything that happened to the chess world in 2020. At the start of last year, kind of your top chess streamers were getting maximum 1,000 views. Most of the like really strong players were getting maybe 200 viewers. That was a really good chess stream. And
Right.
now you see there are people getting 15,000 viewers, 3,000 viewers, like every single stream.
Wow.
And not just from embeds, from actual people. So I don't think chess was growing that much. I think there's been a lot of effort that has been put into growing chess. Some of it has been lack in terms of things like the Queen's Gambit, and then events like PogChamps. You also have a lot of chess players getting signed to international esports organizations.
Right.
And the Botes sisters as well, who are signed to Team Envy. Like they've also been growing the game a lot. A lot of people are kind of realizing that people stream chess and that chess exists because there's just more exposure overall. But I don't think that would have. I don't think it was that we like saw that happening, decided to enter chess, and then the year just took off. It was probably quite stagnant because chess does have a ceiling, kind of. It is
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
In
the same game
2020
it's been for 1,000 years, right?
Exactly. There are a lot of
Yeah.
jokes about when is Chess 2 coming out. Unfortunately, it's not coming out. We're just stuck with chess, and it is
Chess
traditionally
2.
viewed as like old people, boring stuff. So
Oh,
I think
no.
without 2020 having happened, it may still have been with that perception. I mean, it's
Okay.
not, but that's what people perceive chess to
Yeah.
be.
Right. So I find
Esports organizations started seeing chess as an esport, and that's
Yeah,
why
that's also
so
something
many
that's really
players,
exciting.
Yeah.
got signed with esports.
I had a good laugh about that the other day because, like people were debating, is online chess an esport now? And I was like, you esport guys have been fighting to be a real sport for so long, but chess has been considered a sport for super long now. So what are you debating if this is an esport or not? But yeah, I always laugh at things there. But I think a really important point that I liked it that I didn't really realize, Rebecca, and that's why I thought to ask is that there was already work being done prior to the quote-unquote luck of 2020 where there was a big drive to make chess this big thing and make it happen across the world. And then obviously, like you say, Twitch decided to do the thing and chess.com with the PogChamps, Queen's Gambit came around. So it was all the pieces came together for the puzzle and to a lovely result.
Yeah.
I mean, to have 15,000 people watching a Twitch stream, that's a big Twitch stream. Like it's really a massive one, even bigger than some quote unquote esport games at the moment. Chess is one of the, I would say, the top categories on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's concentrated very much among a couple of streamers, but definitely you have chess streamers who can, if they decide to, they can go into more traditional esports because they're not just niche chess viewers. And yeah, when all of them are streaming, you probably do have easily 30,000 people watching chess.
Right. And I think also, like you guys said, it helps that a lot of the like other big Twitch streamers like Pokimane and such also decide to play and collaborate with the chess streamers and things. So there's a lot going for Twitch chess, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think it's also making it a lot more accessible in terms of chess is a very, very complicated game at the top levels. And it has that kind of image attached to it. You have to be super clever to play chess. It's super complicated. And if you log on and watch a grandmaster, you are going to be completely lost and think that chess is difficult. It's not necessarily fun. You don't understand it. Whereas with these newer players with the big events and more people being exposed to chess and to the different types of chess streams, they're seeing chess can actually be fun. You don't need to be a grandmaster. They can understand the mistakes that XQC and Ludwig are making, because they also get mated in one. They also drop pieces.
Right.
So I think overall it's been very good for chess.
That's a good point. So on that topic of the competitive scene, I also, when I started getting into the chess, I think Magnus Carlsen was running, I can't remember what his tournament was called, but the professional chess tour thing and things.
Yeah.
And I was like really impressed with the level of production quality and professionalism for the professional chess scene, like the whole panel setup, because that's my thing. Like I also come from the background in doing broadcasting and stuff in esports. So when I saw this in chess, I was like, oh man, the chess guys are actually ahead of us, So in the pro scene, who is your guys, like, your favorite players, the ones you watching and supporting. Like, I like that Russian guy, that Dubov guy who beat Carlson recently, just 'cause it's just hilarious, you know. So who is the top players you would like? Jesse, you can go first.
Who stream or like just play?
You know, pro players, other streamers, just people
Oh,
in chess who
okay,
you'd like
cool,
to
cool,
shout out to, you know?
Yeah, no, I am actually a huge admirer of one chess player. She's retired now as a chess professional, but she's still involved in a lot of like chess projects. It's Judith Poger. Judith Poger is a Hungarian, one of three sisters. Her sisters, Susan and Sophia, also play, but I think they're more focused on either coaching or just promoting events and these kind of things. But they're huge like chess personalities. And honestly, I just want to, I aspire to be like them. Yeah.
That's awesome. Rebecca, you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about chess. There are so many amazing personalities.
True.
The cool thing is, through our stream, we've also got to meet some of them, which has been great. When I'm asked who my favorite player is, at the moment I also quite enjoy Dubov. He's generally my answer because he makes things exciting. He does crazy chess that he doesn't just go for the draws. Carlson is obviously always a favorite. He's the world champion and he wins almost everything. So those are probably my favorite two players at the moment. But Dubov is young and exciting, essentially, with the way that he plays.
I think the one match I was watching you play against Magnus, sorry to cut you off there, Jesse was wearing like a Gucci jacket, like hoodie or something. Hey,
really?
Messi, and I was like, this guy, he's the one.
Wait, what? What happened?
I think he was playing.
Sorry, you cut off.
Sorry, I said I really liked the guy because there was one match I was watching him play against Magnus Carlsen. His hair was all messy. He was wearing like a Gucci hoodie and stuff and playing chess. And I was like, this guy is just too cool.
There are a lot of personalities in chess. It's great. It makes for some entertainment.
100%. So, you know, Jesse, I'm so glad you brought up Judith Poger because I wanted to ask you something about chess. Now, in esports, this conversation happens a lot also about, oh, why aren't they a woman at the top of esports games and they're pros and such? And obviously, esports is a very new scene. It's obviously like last 10, 15 years. That's when it kind of blew up and things, maybe 20 years if you're going really far back. But it is a very new scene. But I see in chess, these kind of conversations have been going on for a plethora of years, just years and years and years and years going on. So I've been doing, obviously, because I'm starting following, I saw there was a recent article by, let me see if I get the name right. Oh, I'm going to get it wrong for sure. Wee Ji Ma, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the article is called "The Real Reasons All the Top Chess Players Are Men," and they actually mentioned Judith Poger in that article because there's an infamous quote by Garry Kasparov, who's, I know a lot of, for the esports people, he was considered one of the GOATs in chess, if not the GOAT, and he didn't have great things to say about women in chess, super sexist comments, obviously it was many years ago, and then the reason he changed his mind is because Judith just gave him a young hiding at some point. So
I mean, he was on the same call as her, so obviously he had to say something and he was put on the spot. So I saw there was a video attached to the article and I quite like it. I haven't seen it, so I was literally, as Rebecca said, like skimming through it and then like, I saw a bit of the video, but I'm surprised to read some of the things in this article, like the things that Bobby Fischer said as well. I was like, wait, what? But something really stood out to me in the article, and it says here one would expect that the best member of a larger group outperforms the best member of a smaller group. So basically, it's a male-dominating sport, and of course, when you're having a lot of men compete, then chances are the top, performer is going to be a male, just because there are so few females playing. And I'm not saying that it's impossible for a female to become world champion. It's definitely possible. But people have their different opinions, like their brains are built different, or the priorities, I mean, for females aren't the same as men when it comes to working on chess. Maybe they have other responsibilities like starting a family or focusing on their career, or I don't know, as a kid you're playing with dolls instead of playing with chess pieces, and maybe you don't feel as motivated, I mean, as a female chess player, because maybe in a room filled with like 100 male players, there's like 10 female chess players. You're not going to feel motivated to stick around and actually see it through. So, I mean, being the age we are, I think Rebecca and I definitely beat the odds, because a lot of the players we kind of grew up with don't play chess anymore. They focused on their careers or, like I said, family. So yeah, that's all I can say.
I think I'm now one of the oldest active female chess players in South Africa. And I
Wait,
like
how
to
old are
think
you
that I'm not
guys?
that old.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
I'm 21
Yeah.
with quite a few years experience. That's our standard answer. On stream, I'm 93 years old. We're very serious on #chess. We take our chess very, very seriously, and we never joke about any issues at all because chess is a serious game. But no, in
I'm
all
turning,
seriousness.
yeah, no, I'm turning 24 next week Friday.
Yeah, I'm 27.
Yeah.
Turning 28, I guess.
It's not that old, guys. Come on. But I get your guys' points. I think for me, that article, what really stood out was that I think, again, because in esports, when you have the discussions, it just comes down to discussions. This one's opinion, that one's opinion. But like this article, because chess is such a big game with such a large historical precedence and stuff, an article went in, they really went in. Like they brought out a study because it's basic statistics to say if there's 100 men chess players and 2 women playing chess, obviously it would be mind-boggling or defying to see a woman being the top of that 100 because it's just simple statistics. So they really break it down nicely. They link studies to that. But I think the comment out of there that stood out for me is that one, I'm trying to find it here, that the guy from the Chess Federation, his comment, I was like, as in 2015, I mean, Bobby Fischer and them is like going back 50 years it takes. But in 2015, this is the opinion somebody who's running the federation has to say. It's so hard for women then to break the barrier when this is the kind of common sentiment in the sport, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not so much the comment, but the person who said the comment. So he's a very opinionative human being. And to be honest, considering everything he said in the past as well, I wouldn't take his comment to heart, to be honest.
Unfortunately, though, there are a lot of men who do, it's fairly toxic for women in the chess environment as well. Frequently, there are a lot of stories of harassment at tournaments. I think Susan Polgar herself said she's never beat a man who was well because whenever you beat them, I have a cold or I have a headache or like that's the only reason I lost because you're a woman. And even I think Magnus Carlsen, he said his only criticism of Queen's Gambit was just that he thinks in the real world she would have, all of the men in Beth Harmon's life were very supportive of her and they helped her and they didn't like belittle her successes or try to drag her down. And he said if it were a real world story, unfortunately, the case is lots of the men in her life would not be supportive.
Right.
They would be jealous or try to drag her down or say she only won because she was distracting her opponents with her appearance or something like that. So there is unfortunately a lot of conditions like that the female chess players do have to overcome.
Yeah, 100%.
Which also factors into that. But there are some biological or it's the whole nature versus nurture debate that we get asked these questions on stream as well. But in terms of some characteristics that are not necessarily seen as feminine, in terms of being super confident, super assertive, super aggressive, those are things that benefit chess players. The aggressive players tend to do better. So if women, whether it's a natural female trait, whether it's just the way one's conditioned and brought up, whatever the argument, there is that does make it more difficult for, or more unlikely for your typical woman to succeed.
100%.
So there is that has to be taken in as well.
That's fair. It's always have to look at different perspectives. But yeah, I think that comment by Nigel stood out to me is that, like, I think in any other sport, if people had to make such a blatantly sexist comment because it's like men are just hardwired to be better chess players than women, it'd be like a big thing. Like you just woke in 2020, you don't really get away with shit like that anymore. This guy in like 2015 is just saying it's like, oh man. And for me, it
did cause a lot of shockwaves in the community.
That's good.
It wasn't just like people were like, cool, moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It was definitely called out, and he was called out on his behavior. And as Jesse said, the person himself, he is more inclined to lean in that way. So it's not an unexpected comment.
All right. That's good to hear. Good to hear. I read that Magnus Carlsen article as well, because obviously Queen's Gambit just finished. I saw this thing, Magnus Carlsen's thoughts on it, and he had some really good, like, positive things to say as well. It's like the game of chess hasn't been that kind to women because there's no reason, and those was his words, there's no reason that women shouldn't be competing at the top of flight of chess. But the reason they aren't is just because it's such a hostile environment. So, Jesse, you've obviously competed at a very high level. Do you have any thoughts around that of what Magnus Carlsen said?
I mean, we've both pretty much competed at the same level, Rebecca and myself.
Right.
We've been at the Olympiad, the World Olympiad, and I mean, it hasn't appeared any less or more hostile to me. Like at tournaments, it's a matter of respect. So one of the
Okay.
main reasons I play chess is because of the respect you get. The better you are as a player, the more people like notice you, recognize you, or respect you. And
Right.
honestly, that means a lot to me. So if anyone disrespects me, they'll have hell to pay. So
I think I don't. In my experience, the South African male players, so there hasn't really been
Yeah.
much. I don't think there's much hostility towards the female players from the male players who play on the national teams. At least,
Yeah.
Jessie maybe has a different.
I mean, the most crude comments I've come across is like one of the coaches walking past me and then looking at the game I'm analyzing, saying, You're playing in a female section. Just play aggressively. Girls hate aggressive chess. And you'll win easily. And I'm like, I'm not sure whether he's
true. I have
being
been
rude or
told
helpful.
that as well. Yeah, I have been told like South African women don't know how to defend. Like, so maybe maybe there are stereotypes about South African women chess, but it's maybe not in your face. It's more subtle.
All right.
I guess.
I can see that. It usually is. Unfortunately, I come from the gaming scene, so sexism is no joke there. Right now, there's just so many things going on as well locally. So I'm a bit like pessimistic about shit, but I'm glad to hear that in chess, especially in South Africa, there hasn't been such a hostile environment. It's good to hear. And obviously, again, we have our big streamers, 2 women playing chess. #chess. Check them out on Twitch, guys. But other than chess, what is your guys' plans in terms of your guys' Twitch channel? Because it is relatively new, only a year old. Do you guys have other ideas, the things you want to be streaming, games you want to be playing, and such? YouTube channels you want to be maybe starting, or add more content to? You guys do have a YouTube channel. Let me not forget.
Yeah, it's quite inactive, but yes, we will be.
Becoming meme overlords, of course.
Do you want to chat a bit about the stream, Jessie, and I can talk about the YouTube?
Oh, sure. You talking about our plans or just like what we're doing?
Yeah, what is your plans going forward? Is it still...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, of course, like for the past year, we've been streaming from laptops, and we've been doing predominantly chess. So maybe we'll sway away, like at the end of a stream, do some marbles on stream or some Jackbox games and stuff like that. So we do dabble in variety. And also we play some Among Us, but that's more like for fun and so on. So we want to stick to chess. That's obviously #chess. It's in our name. We're going to try and
I have
keep
petitioned
it.
to try change it for Jessie. Jessie's not keen to call it #marbles, unfortunately.
I'm sorry. Even though the fans, they love the marbles and they love Rebecca commentating on marbles. Even I'm super addicted to playing marbles on stream. So yeah, it's very strange.
Sorry,
all the skills involved. Segue.
You guys definitely are the wrong generation. You know, nowadays kids are playing like Cyberpunk with like 4K monitors and stuff. What do you guys play? Like chess, marbles.
Yeah.
You know, you could have been born in like 1800s. You'd still be okay for your hobbies.
I'm 93 years old. This is the thing.
Yeah, I told you. You know, Queen's Gambit is based on our lives. You know, obviously.
But Jessie can talk about what we'll be doing in future. I derailed that a little bit, sorry.
It's okay. So we'll be focusing on more collaborations with other chess streamers. So we do have a few things lined up. And of course, then maybe streaming some variety content too. So trying out some games like Fortnite. I know Rebecca mentioned maybe here and there, like Call of Duty. I don't know. Rebecca does seem to have a knack for clicking heads, so we'll see where that goes. and just generally events. So planning to, like this weekend, we'll be commentating for a chess kit event for chess.com, and hopefully that way we'll get to bring some new audience members towards our stream. I mean, we try to keep it as family friendly as possible, so of course it might expand and make people notice us a little bit more on the South African scene and worldwide scene. But also just planning like South African chess events. And it's something we've wanted to do for a long time, like bring chess in South Africa, at least bring some spice to it, and bring some more chess players, make them excited about tournaments again, because OTB, over the board chess tournaments, in real life chess tournaments aren't happening and haven't happened for the past year, and I don't know when it's going to happen again. So just making people excited about chess, and like I said, variety, but we're constantly coming up with new ideas and content. So
I mean, as soon as we have
Yeah.
PCs, we'll be trying out some more games and trying to do some more traditional gaming rather than only chess. We'll obviously keep the chess because, as Jesse said, the name is #chess. And then in terms of our YouTube, we're planning on producing some more original content. In the past, we've mainly just taken things that have happened on stream and switched them over to YouTube. Probably we'll be doing some more educational chess content for beginner chess players, because that's what we would be able to do. And then also we're thinking of doing some more advice from a streaming perspective, because we've seen, especially in the South African streaming scene, we've noticed there are a lot of like minor mistakes or minor things that people are making that are so easy to fix and could really up the quality of the stream, really help out in terms of boosting followers or just making the whole Twitch experience just better for them. And it's not necessarily known. And we had to, I mean, we've now been streaming, it's not very long, but we streamed for a year. We've had amazing people helping us with like tech advice and things like that. But we've had to learn all of it ourselves, and there's quite a steep learning curve to the whole streaming. So we feel like it could be quite valuable to help other people to talk about things like our Twitch partnership journey. Because I mean, we are Twitch partner now. We got it, I think, in November, and we'd been trying since June.
Right.
And
blood, sweat, and tears, but
so I mean, it's not a very transparent process. We actually got rejected at the end and then accepted a week later. So things like that, we feel like we can maybe benefit especially the South African community in terms of Twitch streamers by giving some of the advice and things that we've learned along the way. Not saying that we know everything, but rather that we've made so many mistakes. Here they are. Try and avoid them yourselves. Could save some people some time and effort.
Well said.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Okay, I'm going to do a show for you guys. I'm wearing a Bravado t-shirt. Bravado, any
see
other
that.
teams who are willing to look for streamers? These guys averaging 150 viewers on their worst day. Top tier streamers there. Don't let them buy their own PCs. Chill out for them, guys. Come on.
Well,
Don't say I never helped you guys. I'm kidding.
Thank you.
But, yeah. It is great. I hope you guys do some variety stuff. Obviously, you got to stick to your bread and butter chess.
No,
and
definitely.
again, when I emphasize the point, you guys are good at chess, so don't stop playing chess. Thank you guys so much for your time today on this podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you guys. And again, go support these two. #chess on Twitter, #chess on Twitch. These guys, they're legit. And also Team Shill, go sponsor. It's coming. It's happening. You can see it already.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
We appreciate being on the podcast.
thank you.
Anytime. Bye, guys.